Welcome, everybody, to the Artificially Smart Marketing Podcast, where we explore the exciting world of artificial intelligence and its impact on marketing. Every week, we're going to feature in-depth conversations with industry leaders, tech experts, and marketing professionals. Our guests share their insights and experiences on how AI is transforming marketing and providing businesses with a competitive edge, keeping you up to date on the latest trends and best practices in AI-powered marketing. Now, whether you're new to the world of AI or an experienced professional, the Artificially Smart Marketing Podcast is the perfect place to learn about the latest advancements and how they can be applied to your business. Join us each week, and now let's explore the intersection of AI and marketing together. Hey, everybody, Matthew Maniak here with the Artificially Smart Marketing Podcast, here with your host, Tony Aponte. How's it going, Tony?
Good, good. How we doing this morning? Ready to rock and
Doing
roll?
good, doing good. I got my orange juice, so we are out here.
There you go. I already have my cup of coffee, so I'm good to go.
Nice. Perfect. Perfect. Well, we're going to need coffee for this one because there's a lot of in-depth tech and data analytics side of things that we're going to be exploring today. And
Yep.
obviously, this is much more in your world of digital marketing than it is in my world of video content creation. So it's going to be really exciting, and I think that our viewers are going to have a lot of great information to take home from you today. So, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, the information isn't too deep and boring. I'm going to try to figure out a way to make this as entertaining as possible.
Listen. You cannot make data analytics boring. So before we really kind of get into the data analytics side of things, there's an important consideration that we need to look at, and that's actually what is the content that we're creating? How can we leverage the AI and leverage these tools and look at exactly what it is that we want to say and how we want to communicate it to our target audience? Because ultimately, the data that we get on the back end is going to be dependent on how well our targeting is on the front end and how well our content is engaging and providing that value on the front end as well. So I mean, from with what you're doing and what you're seeing, how would you say that AI can assist small businesses in creating compelling and relevant content for their audiences?
Yeah. So, in the last episode, we talked about identifying your customer avatar, right? Being able to figure out who our customer avatar is and being able to create a profile where that is going to give us a guide to be able to produce content that speaks to our audience. At the end of the day, we want to be able to make sure that we are connecting with our audience with messaging that's going to resonate with them. So this is where the power of AI really comes into play because it takes a little bit of the thought process out of it. The long, you
The guessing
know,
game.
process, right? The guessing game of trying to identify who our audience is. If we once we put together a structure of how to interact with, in this case, we can talk about ChatGPT, interacting with ChatGPT. We can get the information, the content that we get can be very extremely specific to our audience.
No, definitely. And I mean, obviously too, it's like you look at testing it, right? And so you can actually leverage those tools like ChatGPT and say act as this kind of audience avatar, and then you give it the information that you want to test your messaging against, and then have it critique it from that perspective, no
Right.
matter what that perspective is. It usually does a pretty good job at kind of expounding and explaining and analyzing it from that standpoint. Um, and then obviously too, from there, you can take it a step further and say, hey, rewrite this based on the above feedback, and it'll critique itself.
Right.
Especially if you have it say, quote unquote, act as a harsh critic, and you really delve into that cycle of continuously perfecting and continuously enhancing, I should say, your messaging.
So yeah, so one of the key things with copy is there's several things that we now that again with AI that we're able to really take advantage of. AI is built, ChatGPT is built on millions and millions of data points, right? So it's been trained on a lot of different areas when it comes to copywriting. There's like a list of 64 of the top copywriters out there that you literally can just tap into their frameworks and use that for your content, right? And then not only that, but also you have the archetype, branding, where basically archetype is the archetype is basically all focused on the storytelling, is the ability to be able to connect to your audience by telling stories. And that's really uh, what really connects your message to your audience is by telling stories or telling a story that identifies who you are. And so, there's 12 arch type brands out there that you can basically tap into. And this has been around for decades, but now it just makes it a lot easier for the simple business owner to be able to tap into, where we're not having to go hire a professional that's their expertise, right? I'm a branding expert. No, we can literally just go into ChatGPT once we figure out those 12 archetypes and figure out who our archetype is and create messaging based around who that archetype is. And then you also take and incorporate a specific copywriter. And whenever we do that, we create copy that is just going to resonate really well with our audience, which is key because at the end of the day, we're trying to sell audience a product or service. And it's all about copywriting, right? If you look at all the like commercials on TV, YouTube, even movies, it's the copywriting. It's the copywriting that just draws people in. And so that's one thing that we really want to make sure that we do with our audience. If not, we're just going to miss the target.
No, definitely. I'm glad that you actually kind of mentioned something there in regards to like the commercials and stuff that we see, because it's like it really is the writing is the core of what we do in the video world and all that. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You'll get how many times have you watched a commercial and you either like you react to a certain level, right? You either
yep,
laugh, you start, you break out and laugh because it was hilarious, or whether the message was stupid, right? Or if
right,
it resonated, or if it was real, or it was true. One way or another, it's going to get a reaction. Or if it's like, something like you're like, oh, it kind of you take it back. It's
right.
again,
It's
whoever
it's the
created that
memorability
script.
of it,
Yeah, exactly. And some of them just stick
and
with us a lot longer because then, hey, have you ever seen that commercial or whatever? It did its job, right?
exactly right. It's like, and it's like some you remember for years, right? It's the like what was it, the FRE that spells free
Yeah.
back in the day, yeah. So it's like stuff like that, right? And someone had to write that, someone had to generate that idea and put it down on paper, and then obviously the rest is history when it comes to the video. But it's like uh the writing is in the video world is really this unsung hero. And if you can tell a good story that resonates with people, and I mean, in the film world, studios will pay big bucks to really be able to test that
Yep.
messaging, test the say the performance of a certain story against a certain audience, because then that's like, for at that level you're making millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
And it's like you just got to look at it from the frame of your own independent individual marketing for your small business, and then applying that same technique, bringing that same mindset to that, because that's kind of where you can really start to double down on enhancing that messaging and getting that elevation that you're looking for.
Right. Definitely.
So yeah, and then plus two, right? Like after we've gotten that content, after we've developed that messaging, developed that material, and are starting to push that out to our audiences, now we start to get that data that we can then collect and interpret and analyze. So I mean,
Yep.
really, this and from there, it's making our messaging better, really kind of focusing it and curtailing it. But we need that data. We need to know what that's telling us in order to be able to make our messaging and strategies that much more effective. So kind of along those lines, there's this whole topic of predictive analytics, as it's called. How really can we leverage that side of AI for the purposes of identifying potential customers?
So this is where we get into now really understanding our audience, right? If you're not measuring your marketing campaigns, if you're not looking at your data, you're really just basically shooting from the hip. So this is where it's really key, where we use AI to be able to gather data that we can use to be able to adjust accordingly, right? Whenever it comes to analyzing our data, it gives us the ability to look at what past customers, what our past audience has done, right? We look at, if you're in e-commerce, you're able to look at your sales and what is it that, how is it that it drew in your products or services? How is it that it drew in your paying customers? What was it that you did that converted that prospect into a customer? One way that this is done is it gives us the ability to look at past sales and figure out a specific, if we're looking to try to, let's just say, for instance, that you have a survival business, right? One of those where you sell survival products, right? And you notice that your sales are up in one particular area, but yet it's down on another area. This is where we are able to look at the analytics on that and figure out why our customers are not buying that one that is selling that great, and we'll be able to look at it as to whether the demand is there or not. And if it's something that we feel that demand is too low, we can literally take it off the shelf, so that way we're not spending money on marketing that product. And on the flip side, if there is a product there that has been selling really well, what can we do to take the budget from that product that isn't selling and then put it into that one to really increase the sales for that particular product? And that's what being able to use AI to be able to predict future sales by using the past data. So that way we can really adjust accordingly to increase the bottom line on certain products and then eliminate products that just aren't selling, not grabbing the attention of our audience.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like at its core, right? It's phasing out what's not working and doubling down on what is, and really kind of analyzing what is working and then seeing where that element or that material or that use of language can be replicated and redistributed across your other branches to to double down in that area.
Yeah, for sure. And that's key, right? It's all about trying to maximize the dollar. We don't want to be spending money in areas of the business that just there isn't going to be the return. And it's just easier just to, cut your nose off right there and get rid of what's not working and focus on what is working.
100%, 100%. So now kind of leaning into more of the predictive modeling side. Like now that we've got the data, we've analyzed it, we've kind of seen what's working, what's not. Tell me how this predictive modeling assessment, how does that work?
So this is the part that we were able to ChatGPT and other AI tools really give us the advantage there as customers whenever we're looking to figure out how we can separate ourselves from our competition, right? With AI, we are able to identify the behaviors by how they respond on social media. If we're doing paid advertising on Google Ads or Facebook marketing, we're able to really see what the behavior is. We're able to look at keywords that are generating that traffic and the keywords that are actually generating clicks on our ads, right? We can take that information and put together a profile of what is going to sell, what our customers really are gonna buy, and we're able to take that information and really enhance our marketing campaigns because we're technically, in a way, able to identify what they're going to do. And again, this all goes back to gathering data from our past campaigns, being able to sit there and figure out exactly what sold yesterday to what people are going to buy tomorrow.
Right. And so it's like the whole concept of we need to know where we've been before we can tell where we're going. And,
Right,
and, and,
exactly.
and,
Yep.
and, and, and these systems can be used to take this process that I mean, before AI, right? And even as technology has continued to grow, uh, it's a process that may have taken days, weeks, if not months, depending on the
Yeah.
pool of data that you're working with to really analyze and take
Yeah.
that process and consolidate it into, depending on again on the pool of your data, but you're still looking at seconds to minutes instead of weeks to months. And
Yeah.
and you got to look at, as a business owner, that kind of time savings, how transformative to your business would that be, right? If,
Right.
if, if you can cut back on having to do all the, say, heavy lifting on the data analysis side and really focus in on the actual, one, fulfillment, but two, also that sense of where do we go next, right? Because so many times we're business owners and things like that myself included, people that I've worked with, and I'm sure it's the same thing with you, is we're so focused on working in the business most of the time that it's oftentimes tough to focus on working on the business. And
Right.
this kind of, again, we've mentioned this in previous episodes, but just kind of driving this point home again, is that these tools, these AI programs are here to help us to get to that level and help enable us to enhance our delivery, enhance our services, enhance our ability to be effective and efficient in what we do, and really just kind of uh, giving us that opportunity. I think is going to be transformative for those that, one, learn, and two, know how to take advantage of these tools that are available to us.
For sure. For sure. And it all goes back to what, you know, you were saying is that, as business owners, the majority of the business owners, we're not data analysts, right? That's not what we went to school. We're not like, we're not, we're providing a particular service. And so, whenever it literally comes to doing that, we're like, and so you just don't even bother doing it, because you may not have it in the budget to hire someone in-house that can do that for you. And
Yep.
so now because we have AI, we can literally take some of the time that we have that we can put aside and use tools, like SEMrush or, different Ahrefs, Google Analytics, and just put together very basic reports and use it and input it into AI, Chat GPT, where where it can translate it back to us, in a matter of minutes, And so that's really key. That's something that I really want to make sure that our audience understands, is that we're able now to do some things that really can help help us grow the bottom line. Where we're before it would have just taken a good amount of money to hire someone, a professional, to do that, or you're just like don't even bother, but yet you're just leaving a ton of money on the table or losing money, right? Because that's
Right.
exactly what the whole idea is about, gathering data.
No, definitely, and kind of jumping off of that, right? Like we've kind of using this data analysis system. We identify what's working, what's not. We use the predictive modeling to kind of get an idea of what's going to work in the future, and now we can more effectively, score and qualify the prospects and the target demographics that we're looking at, to really kind of prioritize the ones that are more that are most data backed for us to be able to target, and like where did that data shows that our efforts are going to have the highest return on investment.
Yeah, definitely. So, one of the, another key point area that, with predictive analytics, it comes with scoring our leads. We have to kind of identify where our leads are coming from, and then whether or not they're going to be a purchasing customer. And so with AI and being able to predict uh, the next step from our leads, it allows us to be able to put together a specific campaign at where they're at with the customer journey. So using predictive analytics, we'll be able to rank our leads and where they are in the buying process. If they're spending more time on information that we're providing, uh, but yet not taking action on certain calls to actions that we put in our campaign, then we can identify that lead as not ready to buy. So we focus more on the ones that are ready to buy. And that's really where the advantage comes in, being able to identify where those leads are in our sales funnel.
Right, and even kind of along that same line, you can take even some of the data that you get from like your web servers and your hosting to be able to kind of get that sense of, okay, what pages are people spending the most time on, and
Right.
then you can run analysis on what's displaying on those pages to really kind of see what is drawing people in. Is it a service that you're promoting? Is it a page with a video on it that you're seeing people stay on for to watch the video, and really kind of looking at where your bounce rates are coming into play, so you can then you know leverage the AI tools, analyze that element, and kind of curtail your approach to see, okay, like we said before, what's working, what's not. How do we pivot here on those elements that may not be performing to the standards that you're wanting to be at.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's key, right? We've got to know where our customers or prospects are spending their time in respects to our content. What is it that's they're resonating with, and what is it that they're not?
And I mean, even too, right? Thinking back to our last episode, talking about like the whole behavior sentiments and being able to take that information, plug it in, and kind of get that consumer sentiment to then be able to pivot on your messaging, right? That same topic, same concept, same process can be applied here when you're looking at your web stats and things like that to enhance your messaging and like get those customers that one, of course, are ready to buy, to go through the whole checkout process or book the call or whatever call to action that you have, but then also looking at what can we do to enhance this for those that may not be ready to buy now, but make sure that we're kept top of mind long term.
Right. Yeah, and the one thing that I think the whole idea behind our show is to really emphasize the fact that with AI it gives us speed, right? We to be able to adjust to what's working and what's not working. It's now we can adjust a lot faster, right? Just like you said, we can pivot, but the speed of that pivot that we can take is now much shorter. It's a lot faster than it would have been if we didn't have that. The time that takes us to put that data together and come to a conclusion and then make an adjustment is a lot shorter than what it would have been, a year ago, right? And so that's really the key thing that I think that it's really important for our audience to understand is that now we're able to pivot a lot faster than before.
Right. AI is here to help take the learning curve out of things.
Exactly.
In,
Yep.
in many cases, in many cases.
Yep.
Um, and that's why we keep saying that it's not AI that's going to take people's jobs. It's going to be the people that know how to take, or the people that know how to use AI are going to take the jobs of those that don't.
Right.
Because when you know how to use these tools and you can save businesses, thousands and thousands of hours or hundreds of hours, depending on size and whatever, it's like, think about what the basis of all business is providing value to other people in a way that is measurable and consistent for them.
Right.
And this is kind of where that process starts, is getting the basics down. So I
Yep.
mean, it's like you these tools are here. Let's learn how to use them for our best advantage.
Right. Yep. And then at the end of the day, time is money, right?
So now, kind of taking it even further from there, right? We look, now that we've seen what's working and what's not. We're making those pivots. We're seeing what we can do, and we've now kind of addressed the lead qualification, the prospect qualification, and analyzed how everything's performing. Now we've kind of got a system and a model that is at its apex, that we can see is working based on all the data that we've collected and analyzed. Now, what comes next? Looking at like things like lookalike models and things like that.
Yeah, so this is a concept that's been around for a while, right? Facebook advertising has been using lookalike audiences for a long time, actually since the very beginning of their ad platform. But what AI does now, it gives us the ability to do it just with anything that we do. And really, how this works is we take the data from our previous customers. We put together information that is from our previous customers that have actually bought from us, and we take that information and we create an audience that's built around our previous audience. And it allows us to be able to really hone in on our marketing, because we already have an idea. When we gather that information from our audience, that our customers, it kind of takes a lot of the guessing work as to who they are. And so what we do is we create a lookalike audience. And I say lookalike audience because that's really what Facebook calls it, is a lookalike audience. But we can just basically talk about the modeling of that audience and our customers by our existing customers, and convert that into who our future customers can be. And what that does, it allows us to build a list of different characteristics and behaviors that have been common with our past customers, and we can use that to create really focused marketing campaigns to be able to increase our conversions for our future customers.
Right. And then too, right, now that we're kind of looking at it that way, right, there's so many ways that we can leverage just that process, that model that we've just discussed. Again, from taking it from the initial data analysis up to creating lookalike models based on those audience types and audience demographics, that's going to work for our respective businesses. Taking that and looking at really how can we apply that to marketing specifically, because it's a larger concept that we're talking about here that can be applied to various different areas of a business, whether that be internally or externally, because it's all data analysis. But for the purposes of marketing, really looking at how do we take that process, take this model, and apply it to the marketing side of what we do as small businesses.
It's all about different sections of our marketing, right? Being able to gather data for every phase of our campaigns, whether past or present. So that way we can create campaigns for our future customers that's going to lower the barrier when it comes to being able to connect with them and then convert them. All right. It takes a lot of the guesswork out, which is really key, because we're not just throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. Now we're able to really hone in as to what is resonating with our audience, and then creating campaigns, and not only campaigns, but products and services that they're going to buy. Instead of us trying to figure out whether or not a customer is going to buy into this product or into this service that we're offering, we know now, based on the information that we've been able to gather from our past customers, it allows us to really put together a suite of products and services that our customers are going to buy into. Whenever we take this information, it's all about building a customer journey that our customers are going to respond to. We have different stages of the customer journey. You're exciting them. You're bringing awareness to customers about your products and services. What is it they're buying into? So we're able to really hone in and create content for whatever stage they're in, to make sure that they are still aware of what we have to offer them. And, depending on the stage and the steps that they're in, they're going to eventually become a customer, because now we're using storytelling. We're using all different kinds of copywriting that's going to resonate. It's going to bring them in to our brand, and they're going to want to buy. They're going to become loyal brand ambassadors once they buy in, because they just resonate with your story. So what this all boils down to is the ability to be able to take this data, put together campaigns, content that is going to speak to our audience. It's going to allow us to do a lot much more specific keyword researching. Now that we know what is driving traffic to our website, to our social media, to our, what social media posts are being a lot more engaging. Okay, so that's resonating. We need to maybe expand on that post, right? What is it about that post that got people to comment or whatever? We're going to be able to use all of this information. At the end of the day, this is all about increasing the bottom line, right? So it's the return on investment, the time that we're spending on gathering this data and being able to produce content that is going to attract more customers because of the messaging that we're using AI to really enhance our ability to get our message out in a way that people are going to want to listen to.
Absolutely, absolutely, and really just kind of perfecting our delivery to further enhance and evolve our return on investment. Because just like you said, money is or just like you said, time is money, and
Yep.
really the more that we can outfit ourselves to save time and save money in the long run, it's going to allow us to grow our business that much quicker and that much and go that much farther essentially.
Right.
And these tools are a great place and a great way to start to facilitate that.
This is a very deep topic, but it's really important that we understand uh, how AI can really just help us actually manage this section, this part of our business growth, right? Because there's so many times this is the part that most business owners don't do, and this is going to be more of the the 1 to 2 to 3 business owners. You got the small business owner. They don't have time to get into this deep
Yeah,
information
the
gathering
nitty
part.
gritty of
Yeah,
data segmentation, data analysis, and not only the analysis, but like like taking it, what does it mean? But then what do we do with it? Because
right.
so much of it is the technical, the looking at what's the bounce rate? How long are people
Yeah,
staying? Where are people coming from? What is like that? And then identifying like the actual problem solving aspect of it of what does this mean? And what do
right.
we do with this? And it's
Yeah,
like that process, it can be so involved and so complex. And these tools here can help to simplify that
right.
for so many people.
Yep. And it just takes the frustration out of it, right? Because whenever we get into this part of the business, it's just like you get frustrated because you don't understand it all, right? But now, just to kind of build on what you just said, what it does, it just gives us a little bit of an advantage in respects to, okay, now I can breathe because I got a tool that can basically break it down for me in layman terms, you know, and that's really important because we at the end of the day we want to be able to enjoy what we're doing, right? We're in business, we're offering something that we have a passion for. And whenever when things kind of come together, it just makes it even more enjoyable because you can kind of, okay, I understand this. Here's what I'm going to do. Now I know that I've put a campaign or products and services that people want. Now I'm going to just drive it, right? And so it's
Right.
really important that we understand that because at the end of the day, it's all about making our business a lot more fun for us.
100%. 100%. So a lot of great information covered today.
Yep.
Hopefully everybody here that joined us has found some value in it. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM us on social media. But for now, give us that hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to us, subscribe to us on our Spotify or whatever your platform of choice might be. And until next time, we will see you next week.
All right, guys. Y'all take care.